But there's something else here. We're going to show that later. But anyway, this is Sandy Hook. Now here, you'll see this blue line here is an interstate highway. And this is what the YouTube user I referred to previously was talking about. And here's a close-up of another section of that same area. Look at what it says right here. That says Interstate 35. Well, now, New York does not have Interstate 35. Why would they put Interstate 35 on this map? Well, it's a clue. It's a clue, and it's going to tell us something here, and I'm going to show you in a little bit. Now, here's another interstate full of strike zones. This is strike zone 5, and again, this is an interstate, and look at this right here. You can't see it very well, but it's 65. This is Interstate 65. These are staging areas. This is a checkpoint according to the key at the bottom of the map. Staging areas, checkpoint, strike zone, and this of course is a river. It says Queens River here. Alright, let's go on down. There's a close-up showing Interstate 65 is right there, close to the strike zone. Now, here's a map. I'm showing the long stretch from the bottom, from strike zone 1 through 3 and then through 5. And this is a very interesting layout, because if you'll notice, and we can zoom in on these later, the roads here go into the river but they disappear. It's like, why would the roads go into the river and then disappear? We also have boat tours here. I mean, it's pretty obvious that this represents something else. Now here's the puzzle mystery that a lot of people are missing. There's another interstate listed on this map. This is Interstate 25. And you'll notice that it's right here at the top of Interstate 35. It connects with it, and there's no strike zone in this area. You'll see that there's an arrow that points back and forth, and I wondered about that. What does this arrow have to do with anything? Well, this arrow evidently is showing where people will be able to travel safely back and forth. I mean, that's what the purpose of a double arrow is, right? To show that we'd be able to travel back and forth. Back and forth where? Back and forth between Interstate 35 and 25. Well, as I said, we have arrow going both ways. The meaning of this is that between Interstate 25 and Interstate 35 we will have truck routes after the catastrophe that is to come, and that's what this map is about. It's a warning of what is to come. Now, let's take a look at this. Again, we have Interstate 65 with strike zone 5 at the top. We have a river going all the way down to strike zone 1. There's strike zone 3 in the middle. If this river represents the Mississippi River, therefore these strike zones would represent parts of the Mississippi River. This would be the upper near the Great Lakes. This would be the New Madrid area, or this would represent Louisiana, strike zone 1. Of course, we know what's happening now in Louisiana if you're keeping up with it, which most people are not, because the news media is not following this. They're not keeping up with it. But in strike zone 1, it's obvious that this is representing Louisiana. And in Louisiana we have the Assumption Paris sinkhole in Bayou Corn, which has now grown to 8 acres, and at this time it is bubbling. There is gas and oil bubbling out the size of about an acre. So we're talking about a mega disaster in the process of happening right now in Louisiana. If you live in this area, folks, if you live in within 50 to 100 miles of Bayou Corn, I highly recommend that you leave that area very soon. I believe that it's going to explode. I believe that the sinkhole is going to get much larger, and it's going to be a disaster of apocalyptic portions. And what's going to lead to eventually is the eroding of the Luan Salt Dome. The Luan Salt Dome is much larger than the state of Texas. And as you can see, it completely covers Louisiana and about 1/3 of the state of Texas. When this salt layer is compromised, and it already has been compromised through frac teching and other means, but when it's completely compromised, then it'll be just nothing but caverns under the ground, empty spaces, and it will be just a matter of time. It'll be like waiting for the earthquake, the New Madrid earthquake. When it hits, not only will the New Madrid area go, but so will a great deal of the Gulf Coast.
This film reveals two presidents with the same agenda. Bush is one and Obama is two. Bush is not the mastermind. He is, instead, being controlled like a puppet on a string. The pet goat is a reference to the story that was read by the children in the Florida classroom on the morning of September 11, 2001. George Bush was there for a photo opportunity, but it was actually a satanic ritual to introduce the 911 event and change the world forever.
Fool me once, fool me once, fool me once. Shame on, shame on. Shame on you, shame on you, shame on you. Fool me, take it, fool again, take it, fool.
The people can't be fooled twice by this president, so he needs to transform into something new for Pet Goat 2. Amazing. Bush turns into Obama. So now we see how he turns from the dunce president to the college-educated president. But wait. There is more. Please notice that the push pins on the wall represent past, present, and possibly even future false flag events. The major New York area, Sandy Hook event and the destruction of the Twin Towers in New York City, Oklahoma City bombing, New Orleans area, Hurricane Katrina and the current Louisiana sinkhole, and the Gulf of Mexico, where the BP oil disaster took place. Up next. Believe it or not, several very clear and obvious references to the Sandy Hook hoax and false flag event. And remember, this film predates the Sandy Hook event by several months. Obama is given a cue to laugh out loud, because of what he is about to see. Another great deception foisted upon the people. And here is the next part. Here we have a young blonde-haired blue-eyed girl surrounded by 12 other child figures which appear to have no real life. In all honesty, this already suggests the Sandy Hook hoax with children who did not even appear to exist. The girl, of course, appears to perfectly fit the profile of Emily Parker, the one child who received the most attention of all those allegedly killed at Sandy Hook. The apple rolls over the upside-down letters C7 before striking Obama's foot. Obama is holding down a gold coin with his foot, suggesting, possibly, that he is holding back the economy of this nation for some devious purpose. The apple splits in two, and the two halves are reconnected with a pink lotus flower growing between them. This suggests that a great division is about to take place in the United States. Let us summarize the Sandy Hook connections in iPad. Go to number 1. The owl above the general location on the map of Connecticut. The owl became a symbol for the Sandy Hook event, when one of the children of Sandy Hook supposedly drew a picture of an owl to give to Anderson Cooper on live television. The owl, of course, is the symbol for Baphomet. Number 2. One of the push pins appears to be near Newtown, Connecticut. But it could also be seen as near to New York City itself. Number 3. There is the picture of the house that is on fire, or the firehouse. The firehouse was the staging area for the Sandy Hook event. Number 4. Obama is told to laugh out loud based on a cue card. Why is he laughing, if not at the ignorance of the masses in falling for the Sandy Hook hoax? Number 5. We now see 12 children that are grayed out as if they did not exist, surrounded with barbed wire, and dented and damaged, along with a 13th child that is blonde-haired, blue-eyed, and has an apple in her hand as she starts photo. Notice, there are 13 bodies as if lifeless and 12 are faceless as if they do not even exist. The children at Sandy Hook were noted to be ages 7 and 6, which when added together makes 13. The blonde girl could be a representation of Lilith, a Jewish mythical woman who sacrificed children. However, she does appear to somewhat resemble another little girl caught up in the drama of Sandy Hook, Emily Parker. Emily, it has been discovered, was photoshopped into her own family photos. Some claim she was found several days after Sandy Hook, alive and well. Whatever the truth, Emily Parker, along with her father, Robbie Parker, have somehow taken the forefront of this Sandy Hook event, actors playing the parts of grieving father and slain daughter. The focus has indeed been put on Emily Parker, and because of the staged drama of Sandy Hook, the apple has now passed on to Congress as they seek to bring in very strict gun control laws as a result of this false flag event. As the apple rolls across the checkered floor, it crosses over the letters C7 before hitting the boot of Obama, which is holding down a golden coin. It breaks open and becomes a lotus flower, an occult symbol of new birth, as in Newtown. The C7 is the fully automatic version of the same AR-15 semi-automatic rifle which authorities claim Adam Lanza used to kill 20 children and 6 adults,